Good day, welcome to the first module of Wine and Food Pairing Principles. In this module, we are going to travel not just in the figurative sense, but also through the vineyards, cellars, and dinner tables of the world. Our aim is to understand what wine is, how it is made, what shapes its taste, and where in the world it comes from. We'll also start to build your vocabulary in wine, so by the end of this module, you'll be able to describe wines confidently and understand the differences between a dry Riesling and a full-bodied Cabernet Sauvignon, or between a crisp sparkling Prosecco and a fortified, nutty sherry. Wine is more than a drink. It's a cultural artifact, a symbol of hospitality, and a bridge between food, people, and place. When paired well with food, it can elevate the dining experience into something memorable. But before we can match wines with food, we need to truly understand wine itself, its types, its origins, and the many factors that influence what ends up in the glass. So let's begin by looking at the types and styles of wine. 1. Types and styles of wine. Wine can be classified in many different ways, by color, by sweetness, by alcohol content, or by the method in which it is made. Here, we'll break it down into the main categories you'll encounter. 1.1 Light wines. Light wines are what most people simply call table wines. They are made to be consumed with food and typically have an alcohol content between 8% and 15%. They come in three basic colors. Red wines, made from red or black grapes, where the juice is fermented with the grape skins, giving the wine its color and tannin structure. White wines, usually made from white or green grapes, with the skins removed before fermentation. They can also be made from red grapes if the skins are removed immediately. This is called Blanc de Noirs in sparkling wine production. Rose wines, made from red grapes, but the skins are in contact with the juice for only a short time, just enough to impart a pink hue. Light wines vary in style from crisp and refreshing to rich and complex, depending on the grape variety, climate, and winemaking method. 1.2 Sparkling wines. Sparkling wines are wines with significant levels of carbon dioxide, making them fizzy. This carbonation can be natural, from a second fermentation in the bottle or tank, or artificial. The most famous example is champagne from France, but sparkling wines are made all over the world. Prosecco in Italy, Cava in Spain, and excellent examples in regions like California, Australia, and South Africa. Sparkling wines are usually served chilled and are associated with celebrations, but they also pair beautifully with a wide range of foods, from oysters to fried chicken, thanks to their high acidity and effervescence. 1.3 Fortified wines. Fortified wines have had a distilled spirit, often brandy, added to them. This raises their alcohol content and can affect their sweetness, depending on when in the fermentation process the spirit is added. Examples include port, sweet, rich, and often enjoyed as a dessert wine. Sherry, ranging from bone-dry, fino, to lusciously sweet, Pedro Jimenez. Madeira, known for its unique oxidation and heating process, giving it remarkable longevity. Fortified wines are often enjoyed as aperitifs, digestives, or in cooking. 1.4 Vermouth. Vermouth is a type of aromatized wine, meaning wine that has been infused with botanicals such as herbs, spices, and roots. It is often fortified as well. There are dry vermouths, which are light and herbal, and sweet vermouths, which are rich and spiced. Vermouth is a key ingredient in many classic cocktails, such as the Martini and Negroni, but is also enjoyed on its own. 1.5 Dry, medium, and sweet wines. Another way to classify wine is by its level of sweetness. Dry wines have little to no residual sugar. Medium wines have a perceptible sweetness but are not dessert wines. Sweet wines have high levels of residual sugar and are often paired with desserts, cheese, or served as dessert themselves. Sweetness can come from stopping fermentation early, adding grape juice, or using special techniques like late harvest picking or noba rot. 1.6 Summary of styles. The key point here is that wine is incredibly diverse. A red wine from one region can be completely different in taste and structure from a red wine from another. The same grape grown in different climates can produce drastically different flavors. Which brings us neatly to our next section, the key factors affecting the taste of wine. 2. Key factors affecting the taste of wines. Wine doesn't just happen. Every bottle is a reflection of a series of decisions and conditions, some controlled by humans, some dictated by nature. These include the grape variety, the climate, the soil, the vintage year, viticulture practices, and vinification techniques. 2.1 Grapes. The grape variety, or combination of varieties, is the foundation of a wine's flavor profile. Cabernet Sauvignon is naturally bold and tannic, with notes of blackcurrant and cedar. Pinot Noir is lighter, with delicate red fruit aromas. Chardonnay can range from crisp green apple flavors to rich, buttery textures depending on how it's made. Some wines are single varietals, made from one grape type. Others are blends, combining multiple varieties for complexity, balance, or style. 2.2 Climate. Climate has a profound impact on grapes. Cool climates tend to produce wines with higher acidity, lighter body, and more delicate flavors. Think of a crisp Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley. Warm climates produce riper grapes with higher sugar content, leading to fuller-bodied wines with higher alcohol and more intense fruit flavors, like a rich Shiraz from Australia. 2.3 Soil. Soil composition affects drainage, mineral uptake, and root depth. Limestone soils often produce wines with bright acidity. Volcanic soils can contribute to a distinct minerality. Sandy soils produce lighter wines, while clay retains water and can yield wines with more body. 2.4 Vintage year. The lock of the year, or vintage, refers to the weather conditions during a growing season. A warm, dry year can produce concentrated, ripe wines. A cool, rainy year might result in lighter wines with higher acidity. In some regions, vintage variation is subtle, in others, it's dramatic. 2.5 Viticulture. Viticulture is the science and practice of growing grapes. Decisions about pruning, irrigation, yield management, and pest control all affect the final wine. Sustainable, organic, and biodynamic practices are increasingly common. 2.6 Vinification. Vinification, or winemaking, involves decisions about fermentation temperature, the use of oak barrels, aging duration, blending, and more. Two wines made from the same grapes can taste completely different depending on how they are vinified. With these factors in mind, let's now explore where in the world wine comes from, starting with the Old World. 3. Old World wine-producing countries. When we say Old World in wine terms, we mean the traditional wine-producing regions of Europe, where winemaking has centuries, sometimes millennia, of history. These countries are often defined by strong emphasis on terroir, the combined effect of climate, soil, and location. Wine laws that regulate production and labeling. Styles shaped by tradition rather than purely market demand. 3.1 France. France is arguably the most famous wine-producing country in the world. Its regions, Bordeaux, Burgundy, Champagne, the Loire Valley, Rhône, Alsace, Provence, are benchmarks for wine styles globally. French wine law is based on the concept of Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée, AOC, which specifies grape varieties, yields, and production methods for each region. 3.2 Italy. Italy produces more wine than any other country and is home to a dizzying array of grape varieties, many of them indigenous. Regions like Tuscany, Piedmont, and Veneto produce some of the world's most beloved wines. Italian wine culture is deeply tied to food, with wines often made to complement local cuisine. 3.3 Spain. Spain is famous for its bold reds like Rioja and Ribera del Duero, as well as its sparkling cava and fortified sherry. It has more vineyard land than any other country, but much of it is in hot, dry regions where old vines yield concentrated flavors. 3.4 Portugal. Portugal's wine identity is strongly linked to port and Madeira, but it also produces excellent table wines, especially from the Douro Valley and Alentejo. 3.5 Germany. Germany is known for its white wines, especially Riesling, which ranges from bone-dry to lusciously sweet. The country's cool climate produces wines with exceptional acidity and aromatic purity.